Hello and welcome back to the Ask Kristi podcast, a podcast by me, Kristi McVee, an ex-child abuse detective, specialist child interviewer and police officer who spent 10 years in the police investigating child sexual abuse, among other things, but predominantly child sexual abuse and abuse. Now, today's episode is going to be about caravan parks and camping. And the reason for this episode is because I have just moved into a caravan and am traveling with my husband and two dogs around Australia. My daughter, who is now 18, decided to move out of home. And so we took that opportunity to run away ourselves and do something for us. And that is after my husband, Brad, had had a 12 months worth of cancer treatment. So we thought, why not? And it was quite an interesting, we've been on the road for 3 weeks. We've spent a beautiful 3 weeks traveling through South Australia, some of Western Australia, and then the Northern Territory visiting Uluru. And during that time, I realized that it had been a while since I'd been camping. And, some of the freedom of caravanning, camping and being around those spaces, it just really is a different place than, what we might do or how we might spend our time with our families or in our neighborhoods. And caravan parks, especially, kids are on their bikes roaming around, running from tent or cabin or caravan to caravan. It's a pretty amazing space. And I know that my own daughter and my own childhood was filled with those times when we did that. And it leaves a mark. Like as a kid, when you have those times where you're running around, roaming, meeting kids, meeting people that you've not met before, they are some really good times. But, those instant friendships and stuff, but they also require a little bit of safety involved there, because the worst case scenario is the last thing you want on a holiday. And it can happen. In my experience, it's very easy to happen because we all get a bit more lax. We all get a bit more relaxed. You have eyes on your child the whole time unless you're following them around and supervising. So caravan parks aren't dangerous. I don't want to say that they are, but they're very trusting environments. So because we automatically trust those environments, we need clear rules and some vigilance. So I wanted to give you the 8 rules that I had with my daughter when she was a kid, the 4 major ones, and then some extras that I added on as we went. So the reason behind these is that we're not just handing kids a list, we're teaching them to think through safety. It all comes back to body safety. And, I'm big on body safety education, but we can use body safety in so many ways. It's like the ground base of all safety for our kids when it comes to, later on down the track, teaching them about online safety and pornography and all of the things. So that's what body safety is to me. And I think if you can start off with body safety, going to camping and caravanning, going on trips, when they go and spend time with the family members, it is all still body safety. So these rules are so that you can just know that your kids know what to do if something happens. They know the rules, they know what to say, they know who to come to if the worst case scenario happens or something happens. So, predators don't look like strangers in white vans. They look like friendly neighbors. They look like the parents of a child that you've just met. They're they're a great guy that everyone trusts. They are, they're the one that offers to look after your kids so you can have a break. And it can be other children too. That's the thing. Like, we can't just assume that kids are safe as well, just playing with all of the kids in a group. So caravan parks aren't a soft target because bad people go looking for them. They're a soft target because everything that makes them wonderful, that open trust, that shared space, those kids roaming free, is also what lets opportunistic abuse slip past unnoticed. So there's just the opportunity to abuse in those spaces because there's less structure and supervision around it. All right, so the 4 non-negotiables of my daughter and when she was younger. I'm going to list what they are, the why. So no toilets or showers without an adult or older sibling. So toilet blocks, bathroom blocks are shared spaces. They've got cubicles. Kids can get locked in cubicles. They're used by strangers that we don't know. Anyone can sit outside. Sometimes they're outside of your direct line of sight. So for me, a non-negotiable is no toilets or showers or any spaces like that without someone with them. So sometimes that meant teaming up with another kid. Like if we were traveling with a friend or family member, my daughter was, when she got to a certain age, she was only allowed to go there if she was with that another child, similar age, or an older child, or that I trusted. Again, like it's you and your family's rules, you get to choose, or an adult. So if she needed to go to the toilet, if we didn't have a toilet in our camp or a caravan or whatever, she had to go, we would go with her. So toilets and showers blocks are non-negotiable. The next one is no going into other people's caravans or tents. Again, private enclosed spaces where boundaries can easily disappear. So everything has to stay open and visible in visible areas where we can supervise at all times, and where any other adult can possibly call out something if they see it. It's not about distrusting people. It's just about removing the opportunity for anything to happen in those unseen spaces, regardless of who's involved, whether it's another child, another adult, whatever. It's just to stop anything happening that we can't see. So number 3 is no leaving an area without telling a parent and asking permission. It's really necessary for us as parents to know where our kids are. And that is part of the safety rules. Or is there a parent going to supervise them in that area? So, asking those questions and knowing those things means that you can walk down and check on them if they're, for instance, playing in the camp kitchen or in some of the new caravan parks, amazing caravan parks we've been staying at, have had massive games rooms. So you might be sitting out in the playground area and the kids want to move to the games room. Who's going to be there to supervise? So they need to let you know. So it's really important. You're their parent. You need to keep them safe. It's a two-way line of communication. If you're not comfortable with them moving over there, that's a consideration. You need to say, hey, nah, mate, like not right now. You guys have got to stay here. And you just don't want them to start making decisions and moving wherever they want. We want strict rules for those things because it's just important that we know where our kids are. And then the rule 4 is if something or someone feels wrong or makes you feel uncomfortable, come tell a safe adult straight away. So it's not really a rule, but it is a rule. So, hey, if anything makes you feel unsafe or you feel uncomfortable or you get your early warning signs like butterflies in your tummy or you feel sick in the tummy because you're being made to feel uncomfortable, you come and tell a safe adult straight away. You come and tell me or daddy or whoever's in the camp. No exceptions, and the one thing I did do with my daughter is teach her some excuses to use. I just need to go to the toilet. I'm going to go get my mummy to take me to the toilet, or whatever you need to create so that your child has a way to get out of a situation that they don't feel comfortable with. Again, this is kind of, I would team this rule up with the body safety rules. I'd say, if anyone breaks your body safety rules, because they could be playing a game that starts breaking body safety rules, which involves private parts, keeping secrets, etc. And your child knows it's a body safety rule and they know that it's not safe and they start feeling uncomfortable. They need an exit strategy. They need to know how to get out of it. So my reminder to her before we went to a caravan park, while we were at the caravan park, while she went and played with other kids, is, if anyone makes you feel uncomfortable, come and tell me straight away. If anyone breaks your body safety rules, come and tell me straight away. You're not going to get in trouble. No one's going to get in trouble. I just need to know. So it's regardless of whether it's an adult or a child. Okay. So it's really important that we maintain that anyone does this. It's really important. Number 5, and this was, again, my daughter's an only child, so she didn't have this option very often, but is to buddy up. If you've got multiple kids, always buddy up with at least one trusted friend or a sibling, never completely alone. Being alone changes risk. It makes it really easy for an opportunistic abuse to happen. So buddy up, no wandering near water, dams, rivers, pools without an adult. So this one's about physical safety as much as body safety. It's the same principle. Also, I have known victims to be abused in pools and in water by an adult and by children. So if there's an adult supervising at all times, watching what's going on, we can keep an eye on what's happening, what other kids are doing, what other adults are doing around your child, and also the physical safety side of there's a high risk of drowning, high risk of getting injured. So it's really important that kids are protected around water. They don't go in water or touch water when you're not around. Number 7 is no food, lollies, or gifts from adults or kids without checking with us first. Sometimes your kids will get offered food from another family or whatnot, but it's really important that kids don't take food from others. It's a nice gesture. And if you're okay with it, you can say yes if you know the other family or the other camp or whoever it is. But, food and gifts and lollies, etc., are also a grooming tactic. So we want to make sure that we're aware of it at all times and we are, checking through that lens of, is this safe? Is this required? Is this normal? It's the oldest trick in the book for grooming kids, right? And yes, everyone is hopefully friendly and safe in a caravan park, but we don't know. We do not know. So it's really important that we don't take that. And number 8 is more like a general rule is know your site number and van details. Know mum and dad's names. If you've got little people, know their site number so that they can ask for help if they get lost or separated, but know how to get back to home or safety. Yeah. And no, it's not fear-based, but, I made sure my daughter just had the confidence and competence to be able to get herself into safety, things that made her feel unsafe or, it's just normal. Like teach your kids their phone numbers and things like that. So it's not about not trusting the place. It's about just knowing that everyone seems friendly, everyone seems safe, and importantly, most people they are. But there's always those people in this world that want to harm kids and do harm to kids. So my point is that these rules are just for your own family's safety. It's to set boundaries in place so that everyone knows the rules. Body safety is the same. It's not about making kids fear everything. It's not about making them scared of things. It's about giving them a set of ground rules that keep them safe. And giving them scripts and things to help them get out of things is really cool. It's a really important thing. My daughter used scripts all the time. If she didn't want to stay at someone's house or if she was asked to go for a play date and she didn't want to do it. All things that, like if your child doesn't have the confidence to say no, you can always give them a script to help them understand that they have a right to say no whenever they want, but sometimes they're not going to feel like confident to do that, especially around adults and older kids. So I think what I wanted you to know is that this isn't about raising anxious kids. It's about raising confident ones and kids who know the rules, know their own boundaries, and know that telling an adult is how they get help and that it's always okay to share are kids who are going to feel very safe and prepared when something happens. And that's what I've found in all of my experience with kids and investigating child sexual abuse. So the other thing is if you haven't had those body safety conversations yet, you have to start. And that's why I created the Conversations with Kids cards, because I think parents feel like, oh, I don't want to introduce a topic that is actually scaring my kids. But when you talk about these things age appropriately without, talking about abuse, because we don't talk about abuse in body safety, we talk about how they're feeling safe, what's unsafe and safe. We use that language, not abuse. It really does help kids feel empowered and confident. So it's not just about caravan parks and camping. These are life skills. So you can always have a look at my Conversations with Kids cards on my website, have a look in the show notes. But other than that, I'll see you in the next episode of Ask Kristi. Now, if you have a question, please send it through. We try to record episodes based on what people ask. So if you have a question, if you're thinking it and you're asking it, then there's possibly other parents who are asking it too. I'm happy to try and record an episode for you specifically or to answer your email. See you next time.